Hi everybody, this is a blue, white, and red Arcane Bombardment deck that uses two new cards from Lost Caverns of Ixalan that I've been excited to try in this kind of deck. We've got Get Lost for some new removal, and we've got Confounding Riddle, a modal counterspell, counters a spell if our opponent pays 4 mana, or gives us an even better impulse effect for our deck since it dumps the extra cards in our graveyard for bombardment to use later on. Of course, we've got Arcane Bombardment and Chandra on the top end to help reuse and copy some of our spells, and then some control classics here in the middle that we've seen before. Sunfall, still probably one of the best sweepers we've got available to us with all of these cards, and especially with all these cards in Ixalan that care about things in the graveyard. So yeah, let's go see a few games with this deck over on the ranked standard ladder with my weird bass-boosted illness voice right now. All right, well, let's get this started here. Apologies for the voice, been getting over something. Work is also super busy, so I'm trying to fit in some magic while I can here, while I'm awake. Also excited that we've got our new Restless Lands in Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Finally able to stick some creature lands in pretty much every deck we've got. Opponent's starting us off with some mono white here. Kind of excited to see what Lost Caverns does for artifact decks. Seen a few ideas out there. Yeah, let's grab a bombardment. We got everything else we need. I mean, look at this hand. So we can try to lure our opponent into Sunfall territory. We've got Riddle here. Yep, let's go ahead and Riddle counter this Sarah Paragon. Haven't seen a great modal counterspell like Riddle since, I think it was You Find Some Secrets, or no, You Find the Villain's Lair. That's the one. Where it was basically counterspell or draw a couple of cards. That card is perfect for bombardment, because you don't always get to counter everything once you stack one under bombardment, especially if you're using things like Make Disappear. It doesn't really scale into the late game, where this one can catch some people. All right, we're going to take 3 here from this Steel Seraph. Opponent's got a second Seraph on board. Gain a little bit of life, go up to 26. Perfect time for some Farsight Ritual. All right, yeah, we'll take the 2 action cards, Sea Double and Sunfall number 2. Let's go Mountain. And yeah, let's clear this off with Sunfall right now. Opponent's down to 3 cards. We've got a backup Sunfall, and if all goes according to plan, we might have a safe enough board to hit bombardment next turn. Perfect. Oh, and of course they've got the Destroy Evil for me today. All right. Well, luckily we've got backup bombardment. Opponent with Enduring Angel. Could be an angel-themed deck. I don't know, but I think we're safe to drop this. Don't think we're going to lose this turn to the angel. Oh, although opponent's got Intrepid Adversary and lots of mana. All right, hits it twice, pumps it to a 5/5. What was I saying about being safe? All right, we draw Riddle. Well, let's go with the Sunfall. Play out this. I think we need Otawara on board. That leaves us with 3. Yes. So we can Riddle on our opponent's turn. We pick up Riddle with Bombardment. Let's take a look off the top. I will take Emperor. And that dumps the rest into the grave, so we get access to that Farsight Ritual down there. Opponent with Elsbeth. We're just going to counter that with this Riddle. Activate Bombardment. That way they get no activations out of her. Use our second Riddle as an impulse. Take that Shark, please. Ooh. Impulse finding us a few things. I mean, yeah, I think it's Chandra at this point. We can reuse and copy all these spells. I think to get the most out of that, we need to put down Seedshark. Oh, it's going to ask me to resolve all of this because we have a Sea Double in hand. Wants to give me every opportunity to copy a spell. Well, I think we've got enough mana. I'm going to activate one of these tokens. Hit our opponent. Finally on the offensive, bringing them to 24. Another Elsbeth. Well, we've still got Riddle under Bombardment. Let's go C double. We could copy Elsbeth, but if we counter it, that doesn't really work. So let's copy our Seedshark that's already on the board. Use one of these riddles to counter Elsbeth as she's on the stack. And then a couple of impulses here. Just a few Seedshark triggers. Grab an extra shark just in case. Might as well take a second bombardment. Yep, finally C double copies the shark. Tricky spell, that C double. Really got to think ahead as to when and how you play that. Let's make an incubator here. Swing over for a little chunk of damage. No sense in activating all these just yet. We've got plenty of spells here still to do. Let's make disappear in hand. Opponent's got a Fateful Absence on a token. I think what we're going to do is just make disappear. Get a few activations out of all of our things. We know we've got Confounding Riddle under here, but it may not actually be that bad if this spell gets through. Alright, so let's start with Riddle. Let's try to make him counter that. We'll go Impulse, Impulse, and Ritual. We're going to bargain this Ritual because we have a lot of little 2/2 tokens. And then just a few more activations again of the sharks. Opponent last card in hand. Did you get me? Oh, they did. Fateful Absence on the Seedshark. Well, the triggers are still on the stack. Damage has kind of been done. If you got to play with single removal, that was the way to do it. Have us shoot off all the fireworks and then hit the real target. But Impulse finding us a few things. We got a few more riddles in hand. And when the dust clears, we have a few incubator tokens left on the board. Opponent empty-handed. Let's use up some of this extra mana. Make up some of our bigger tokens. And let's go to attacks here. That should wrap it up. Yeah, good game. All right. Tempting, but no. Can't keep a 2-lander here. Not in a 27-land deck. Especially when the colors are messed up. We're going to put Shark back here. We've got Sunfall. We've got Soul Partition and Confounding Riddle. I feel like those 3 cards alone are kind of enough to like build a deck around. And our deck is definitely not, we don't really require Shark on the board at turn 3. We can really wait until we're ready. Shark kind of like our control finisher. You can think of it as costing like 5 or 6 mana, or even more in this deck. We don't want to play it unless we can get something else out of it. Alright, land the draw. Let's pass it on back here. I'm afraid our opponent's on mono blue. Consider trying to be quick on this button over here in the corner. Yeah, you can impulse. We're going to counter the thing you impulse for. Trying to bluff not having a counter, or at least not having an instant response to anything. Terror. All right, that's good enough. Let's go ahead and counter that. Does mean we are open to Djinns, but we do have a lot of removal left over, so hopefully we can squeeze some of that through. Nothing for our Field of Ruin. Let's go Adarkar Wastes. Option to sneak in a Wandering Emperor if we need to. But opponent not spending any of that mana. Not putting shields down just yet. Well, we can play the waiting game for another turn or two. Our opponent's username, famous lesser-known cousin of Bilbo Baggins. Thirst for discovery from the opponent. Discards a couple of things. Scatter Ray, huh? Okay. Opponent being prepared for some very specific things. Let's try to sneak in a Wanderer here. We've got mana for a Make Disappear. An opponent uses the negate. Alright, well, also gets it out of their hand when we're ready to start bombarding. Let's go Impulse here, see if we can't find a way to capitalize on hopefully them being out of counters. Shark sounds nice. Alright, let's play Deserted Beach. Let's just try to go for the Shark. Alright, Shark lands. Now a deck like this usually has bounce for creatures, so it's not a guaranteed Shark. Alright, there's the Djinn of the Hour. This is going to be tricky to deal with. Ritual, that's nice with a Shark on board. Alright, I think we're going to just pass this turn here. Keep up some of our instants. Might want to make a move on this Djinn and then follow it up with a Sunfall after they're out of cards. Opponent going Thirst here, main phase, looking for something. Might just be trying to pump up this Djinn. Okay, there's the Fading Hope. We knew that was a possibility. Let's let that go. Making an incubator will not help us since it is stuck to the ground. Alright, a couple of options here. Let's go Eiganjo. They've got 1 mana left, so this is basically one spell to save the Djinn. They have March of the Swirling Mist. Okay, I think rather than Soul Partition in response, I think we just let that go. Kind of pick our battles here. Let's try for a Farsight Ritual, see if they want to do anything about this. No. Alright, we'll take a C double and a Get Lost. And Chandra is the draw. Alright, well I think the situation calls for the Shark. That's going to leave us 4 mana, and that's going to leave us a couple of things to do on our opponent's turn. And so hopefully we've got them in a situation where they need to, yeah, okay, they're impulsing. So they could try to finish us this turn with enough spells and with another bounce spell to take care of the Shark. Flow of Knowledge could get the Djinn high enough. That is 6 cards, discard 2. Djinn's up to 15. 1 mana up, but they've got all their 2 mana spells available. So here's what we're going to do. Is this right? Let me make sure I order this right. Soul Partition on the Djinn. Triggers Shark for 2. So if they want to respond, okay, perfect. So they spend a negate. We can respond to that with Get Lost, which is actually going to remove the Djinn. And give us another Shark trigger. Excellent. So yeah, we lead with the kind of worse option of our 2 instant removal spells. Yeah, and I think Chandra makes the most sense. We don't have any great responses on our opponent's turn, other than C double, and I want to be a little more proactive just for a little bit. So let's add some mana. We will turn on one of these tokens, hit the opponent for 4. I do like how Get Lost gives our opponent map tokens, which are only good if you've got a creature on board, and the decks I like to play usually keep the board pretty free of creatures. Okay, double Djinn from our opponent here. We're going to add some mana. We're going to cast Sunfall. Chandra's going to give us a free backup copy of Sunfall. So they can counter one of these, but they need to be able to counter two or save their whole board. So it's a very specific set of answers that they need here. All right, Sunfall works. They did not have the March. Couldn't even phase out a single Djinn. Consider looking for more to do here. Ooh, Flow of Knowledge. Excellent draw for them. Draw 7, discard 2 at this point. Although they're only down to 17 cards in their library. We might have run them out of Djinns. Delver, sure. I guess that's all right. Island. Oh, Delver number 2. Is this even worth C double? No, let's hold on to it. Nah. Let's see. So we can get a double Farsight Ritual here. Oh, no, okay. Opponent doesn't have anything left. Good game. All right, this looks okay. Kind of missing the glue of the mid-game, but we're going to give it a try. There's a Jadar. Ominous sign of a sacrifice deck. Let's play out our second land here. Keep up Get Lost for anything better, although an unanswered Jadar is still 3 damage a turn. Opponent hits us for 3, down to 17. Zombie goes away, zombie comes back. And play out land number 3 here. They likely have removal in those colors for our shark, so let's just wait a moment on our shark. Jadar hits us for another 3. The zombie falls apart and comes back again. Let's go for an impulse in the meantime. Have to take the land here. Oh, perfect. Okay. I was about to say we need to start preparing for turn 6 bombardment with double red. But the deck has smiled upon us. All right. Yeah, let's just keep passing. Paying for more turns with 3 life at a time. Hello. Zoyua Lavatongue. Okay. So Descend, the new mechanic from Lost Caverns, needs a permanent to go to the graveyard. But I was reading about this earlier. These tokens shouldn't count, if I'm correct. If I'm remembering this correctly. So these tokens shouldn't trigger Descend. Either way, I think it's worth spending a Get Lost on the Lavatongue. I can see us getting into a situation where Jadar gets us low enough that these damage triggers will be able to bypass any of our defenses, whereas we have a lot more answers to Jadar than we do to triggers of damage. Let's see, we could go Shark here. They've still got 4 cards, likely some removal in their hand. Let's go for Teferi. Give us the draw.
There is much the past can teach us.
And just hope that they don't have enough in those map tokens to make everybody big enough to take out Teferi. And if they do, that's another turn purchased as well. Okay, first map token finds them a land. second map token. Jadar goes exploring, and we find a Bartolomeo on top.
Guess you're not joking around.
All right, well, only 4 damage on Teferi. He's still here. Oh, there's the white. Okay, so opponent's got Helping Hand. That is a new Reanimator spell. That's why they're playing with these small creatures that love death triggers and making tokens. Let's see what we find with Teferi here before doing anything. All right, let's play out the Restless Land since we're not going to bombard this turn. All right, I think we pass. Let's try to keep up a Wanderer here and see what trouble we can get into. Bartolomeo, sacrifice an artifact or creature. But they can do that at any time, right? So if we try to exile with the Wanderer, they can just sacrifice the target, bring it back with a future Reanimator spell. All right, change of plans. We're going to make a creature token.
Guards, to me.
Up, they had it. Go for the throat. Okay. On the hook for 6 damage here. We drop to 5. Yeah, that Bartolomeo is going to be annoying. And Jadar brings the zombie back. Oh, my kingdom for a Sunfall. Let's go, Teferi. Draw me a card.
There is much the past.
No, another Wanderer off the top. Okay, I think we've got enough mana for this now. Let's try for a shark. And let's make a samurai token. Oh, they've got the other go for the throat, of course. Takes out the shark. Okay, this might be okay. All right, they didn't have a cut down for our token, and if we can get them to attack with everybody... Okay. Think about this for a second. Yes, let's do second copy of the Wanderer. Opponent frantically looking around at their creatures. Let's go for exile. Let's hit Bartolomeo, since I don't think it can sacrifice itself. Excellent. That's 2 life for us. We will chump the Lava Tongue. And then we should be able to start making tokens to finally block Jadar, who's nearly gone all the way. Oh, Helping Hand again. Okay, Lava Tongue activates finally. We're going to discard a card. Let's get rid of one of these bombardments. Yeah, I can't take too many more of these triggers from Lava Tongue. All right, we're just going to draw here.
Another mystery solved.
All right, well, I think it's time. Let's go Bombardment. And I think it makes sense. We just need some more help on the board. Let's go ahead and get a token out of the Wanderer.
I guess that's it then. Keep watch for intruders.
Let's see, 2, 4, 6. Yeah, I think this is best. It's going to be close. I think this is our best option for now. All right, coming over with everybody. That's 6 damage total. We're going to Impulse, activate Bombardment. We get Lost out of the grave. Let's hit the Lava Tongue with that. Opponent can't use map tokens mid-combat. Impulse, let's take another Impulse. We will block Jadar, finally. Take 2, go to 1. Zombies down, an opponent's out of cards. All right, well, let's try to turn the corner here. Teferi, make us a token. Shark on board to turn all of our spells into more creatures. And now we just got to try to finish this. Maybe start firing up these anchorages and opponent scoops it up. All right, good game. Alright, well, can't sneeze at this. Arena's kind of been doing me wrong with lands in my opening hand, but we're at a good place now. Opponent leading off with a recruitment officer. Likely some flavor of soldiers ahead. Thalia. Oh, should have impulsed before she hit the board. My mistake. Alright, let's put a shark down. Try to slow this tide a little bit. Shark a great blocker. Even against mono red, I would probably not hesitate to put a shark down. Coppercoat Vanguard. Creature's not big enough to get through shark territory. Yeah, just because even mono red takes 2 cards to get rid of shark most of the time. Love having that 4 toughness on an early creature. Yeah, we're just going to keep developing some lands. We got a Wandering Emperor here if they do decide to attack. Or we could just impulse. Might be worth impulsing. Try to get a Sunfall out of them. Put it with another officer. And a Knight Errant of Eos. Eos? Taps 3 things. They get 2 creatures, Adeline, and a fancy Brutal Cathar. Well, then let's definitely impulse. Okay, there's the Sunfall. Started off with 2 copies of Sunfall, and I played a game with this deck, and I was like, now we're going to need that 3rd copy. All right, well, we're a turn away, so Wanderer, you're going to have to bridge the gap this turn, keep us alive. Opponent with a mismatched plains. Okay, Brutal Cathar. That's kind of expected. I think we're still okay. Oh, and if we Sunfall, we'll get that shark back. Oh, another Vanguard. Oh, this might change the math a little bit. Okay. Going to combat. Let's math this up real quick. All right. We need to do something, but we can't exile anybody. Let's go Wanderer. Got to make a token since we can't target anybody thanks to those Vanguards. And we'll block one of the 4/1s. That lets us drop to 1. Still keeps a bunch of creatures on board. We're going to pay an expensive Sunfall. Get our shark back. Make a token with the Emperor to try to keep us safe. Well, it's 20-1. Let's play Field of Ruin. No non-basics I've seen yet from our opponent. What to do here? Let's put a counter on this Samurai.
We've got the edge in this fight.
Let's go Arcane Bombardment. 1 mana shy of being able to keep mana up for our Partition or for one of these Incubator tokens. An opponent just passes. All right. Our defense is good enough for now. All right. Let's do Soul Partition. This will at least remove Adeline temporarily. We can maybe start getting in with a token or 2. Going to get Lost over Sunfall, since hopefully we're at the point where picking off individual creatures is going to be better than that. Going to play out Eiganjo. All right. Let's activate Incubator token. That's a 7/7. And we'll do the 6/6 as well. Let's fire up this 2/2 here. That might be... Oh. Didn't see the Summoning Sickness on the 2/2. All right, well, luckily we're not totally defenseless. I thought we had them there. Yeah, it came in off of one of my 2-mana spells. Okay, opponent replays Adeline. That's it. Settle the wreckage not in standard, and we got there. Good game.